Happy Friday and welcome into the PHNX Sun Devils show, coming to you live from Studio K, presented by Circle K. Join Inner Circle for free by downloading that Circle K app today. Terms and conditions apply at participating locations. Visit circlek.com for details. I am Anthony Totri, joined as always on these marvelous shows by the one, the only E-Pain himself. That is, of course, Erik Ruby. That was spot on, baby. We got K Coop Sports, the captain of this marvelous vessel behind the mag, making all the magic happen. And then, of course, we got everybody in the chat. Let's have one heck of a day. Hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, drop a 5-star review wherever you get your podcast. This is your announcement. Go get your Thanksgiving leftovers, warm them up in the microwave, grab yourself a brew, a juice, a coffee, a water. The tears of Wildcat fans, it doesn't really matter because we have a jam-packed program for everybody today. Erik, we're talking ASU football. We've got Heat Index. We've got predictions with a special guest coming on for the predictions. We got Hot or Not. We're going to talk about Kenny's good deed. We're also going to be talking about ASU Hoops, 6-1 big win over New Mexico. And the only question I have for you, E-Pain, is, are you ready to rumble?
Am I ready to rumble?
Are you ready to rumble?
Am I ready to rumble?
Are you ready to rumble?
Yeah, I think so.
What about you, Captain Redbeard? You ready to rumble?
Born ready.
I mean, there is like no better moment to be ready for than right now. You want to know the best way to get ready for that?
Tell me.
By participating in our wonderful Black Friday sale, because we have a new ASU shirt.
Another one.
Besides the Activate the Valley one, which, by the way, Cam Skattebo has the Activate the Valley shirt. If you want to be like RB1, not on the team, but in the Big 12, in the nation, get your Activate the Valley shirt, and y'all can get it for a discounted price right now. Black Friday sale is live at our locker. You can head to gophnx.com. You can find the locker through there. So many cool stuff, not just Sun Devils, but Suns, Cardinals, Diamondbacks, Mercury, a collab with State 48, hoodies, t-shirts, hats. It is the best time after this show. We got some work to do, but after that, I'm going to go through and I'm going to collect myself.
Dude, I'm telling
some
you.
new stuff.
Yeah, I need to.
Because it is the perfect time to do so. We do have a little shade. Go back to that graphic.
There is, if you're an ASU fan watching right now, and you see the All-City Varsity graphic, shout out All-City. They do.
These are great shirts.
I love it. They're phenomenal
but
shirts.
What's wrong, Anthony?
There's no Arizona State Sun Devils. You kidding me? You kidding me right now? That is a bunch of malarkey.
It's disrespectful, but it's okay.
It is. It's fine. It's bulletin board material.
You know
for
who
us.
picked us to be last in the Big 12? The merch.
It's fine.
The merch picked us to be last in the Big 12.
It's whatever.
Another person we're proving wrong.
It's whatever. And the best way, honestly, that you can continue to prove that Arizona State
Buy
belongs,
the dang shirt.
Buy the dang shirt. Buy more Arizona State shirts than
so
any
fire.
of those other universities.
It's so fire.
Come on now.
I'm going to pull up. There's a quote on the new one that I want to read for everybody because I'm going to begin this. It is we don't have a picture of it right now. That's on me. It's a devil. And around the devil in a circle says, "Echo from the buttes, give them hell, Devils." And boy, do we need to give them hell tomorrow.
We do. We absolutely do. We are going to get into Arizona State football. But first, I want to talk about some ASU hoops because, of course, everybody wants to pay attention, and rightfully so, to Kenny Dillingham and the Sun Devil football team. But Bobby Hurley's Arizona State Sun Devils, one heck of a performance. Late night, if you stayed up to watch that game against New Mexico, the Sun Devils found a way to get it done when it mattered most, Erik. And that is as big of a game as there has been for the Sun Devils so far this basketball season. New Mexico, I believe, ranked by Ken Pom, the only team more difficult that Arizona State has seen up to this point in the season outside of Gonzaga.
Here's the thing. This was the best win of the season for them. It just sucks that it was buried on 9:30 tip-off.
Yeah, that's gross,
on
dude.
Thanksgiving night is maybe the grossest thing that I've ever seen in my entire life. But I got to give ASU credit. New Mexico played a good game, but you cannot watch that game and leave without talking about just how awful the refs are. The refs were so
There it is. I knew there was one more.
So
wow,
bad.
Another one. Okay.
So bad. I mean, a whistle every 15 seconds, dude. It was just terrible. But that can't take away from the fact that ASU, it felt like one of those games where, ASU kind of lost it. They were up double digits in the first half. New Mexico storms back. Last 5 minutes of the first half, you barely scored. I think you scored 1 point.
Down at halftime.
Down at halftime. You come back. You're like down 5 to 8 or 9. And you're able to come back and you're able to win that game. And in large part because of your freshman, in large part because of Bashir Jihad, who had a fantastic game as well. Cade, and here shouting out Jayden Quaintance's nasty dunk. And BC, 6-1. I mean, best win of the season. This team continues to get better, gel, and look better. And that gets me really excited about what's next.
You want to know what the whipped cream to your pumpkin pie was last night?
Yeah.
The Arizona Wildcats also lost their basketball game to an unranked Oklahoma.
3-3.
Not great.
I mean, Oklahoma's good. They're
for Tommy Lloyd and company. But let's go ahead. Let's get to By the Numbers presented by Desert Financial Credit Union, Arizona's #1 credit union, named by Forbes. And Erik, if you don't know, now you know. The only number that matters is that final score. Arizona State outdueling the Lobos 85-82. You said it, Bashir Jihad, the leading scorer for the Devils, 20 points. New Mexico, Dent with 30. The way the two teams shot from the floor, 47% for Bobby Hurley's Arizona State Sun Devils, 38% for New Mexico. From behind the arc, 47% for Arizona State, 38% for New Mexico. And this is the big one here. Of course, bench points, Arizona State with 26, New Mexico with just 6. A big chunk of those were, of course, Josan Sannon.
Yeah, the Sannon off the bench thing. I feel slightly vindicated, even though I was technically wrong.
No, let it happen.
Even though I was technically wrong, I feel slightly vindicated because
What'd
I said technically I was wrong because I had it switched.
Had to make sure.
It's okay. We're on it's like 1 to 600 as far as the you were right.
I live in the now.
Right now.
I know you like to live in the past, but so far I'm correct on this show through 7 minutes.
That's awesome, man. I'm really proud of you.
Yeah.
I hope that you can carry that into this weekend.
Probably not.
Here's the thing. I thought this team would be.
Don't read that, by the way.
Ralph. I thought this team would be great with kind of a supercharged scorer off the bench.
Yeah.
Outside of the starting lineup. I just kind of felt like Sannon and Adam Miller could be switched, but I like the groove that they found. I think the starting lineup has a really good chemistry about them, a really good offensive flow and identity as far as, working from the outside in. And then Sannon off the bench, but knowing he's going to get the touches, he's going to get the looks, and he's going to play starter minutes anyway. I really, really like that. I mean, Sannon played the second most minutes on the team.
Yeah.
He played 32 minutes. Alston Mason played 33. Sannon played more minutes than all the other 4 starters. So that's kind of what I was pitching towards Adam Miller.
Yeah.
And I'm glad that role's still being filled, and it's given such a great punch for Arizona State off the bench. This is clearly somebody who could be starting on most Big 12 teams right now, and Josan Sannon.
Yeah, Josan Sannon, and I think we talked about this a couple weeks ago because Sannon's been coming off the bench for the last couple games. Is the reason I almost like Sannon coming off the bench more than Miller is just because he's a more consistent scorer. Adam Miller has a tendency to be a little streaky, and you've seen that so far this season. Again, New Mexico, Sannon was the second leading scorer for Arizona State, I believe, with 19 points. And then you look at Adam Miller, just 8 points, only took 6 shots. And that's not a knock on Adam Miller, but you've got other guys that have shown that they can be true scorers in that starting 5, which is all great. It's fine. I just think Josan Sannon coming off the bench, being able to carry a unit by himself offensively is part of what's allowed Arizona State to have such a hot start this season. Bashir Jihad continues to turn in some pretty solid numbers. Again, 20 points, 7 of 10 from the charity stripe. Alston Mason, 11 points, 5 assists. And then, of course, Jayden Quaintance had the dunk of the evening that everybody saw.
Getting comparisons to Amari Stoudemire, at least how that dunk looked.
Offensively, he's still got a way to go.
No.
But again, turning in 3 blocks, a steal. He continues to be, I would say, the best defensive player on the floor night in, night out for Arizona State.
He might be the best defensive player in the conference. He might be the best defensive player in the country, because if you watch that game, it's not just about what's on the stat sheet, which is a lot of blocks and a steal. the contest, the way that he sells out, he alters shots. Just his mere presence alone is making really good scorers second guess. And give credit to this New Mexico team. And Donovan Dent apparently is Michael Jordan. 30 points,
son of
7
Harvey?
assists. Maybe. Musfasa. Sorry, I mispronounced his name.
Wow. Go ahead, give it one more try.
Amzil. I'm going to call him Amzil.
There
He
you
had
go.
28 points as well. Give credit to those two. They played really, really well and made this a hard game. But whenever Quaintance was matched up on them, he made it really difficult. And he altered shots. Where's the defense Wildcats? Asked Sunglasses ? And our response is
You're new here.
yeah. we were on like a little no sunglass streak for a little bit.
Yeah.
But yeah, all in all, really good game. Of course, this is part of the like Acrisure Classic. So now they're going to be taking on St. Mary's, who beat the living daylights out of USC.
USC held to what, 36 points?
30-something points.
St. Mary's 7-0 on the year.
This is a big win. If you're able to win this one tonight, we will not be doing a post-game show for that. We're getting ready. We're traveling to Tucson for the Territorial Cup tomorrow. A lot of stuff is going into that. Not able to do a post-game show. That's why we're here right now talking. But if they're able to win that 7-1 on the season, some really solid performances, and your only loss on the road to Gonzaga, where you played them close, that's a heck of a resume.
Is it an AP top 25 resume?
I would probably say knocking on the door.
Even if you beat St. Mary's?
I think if you beat them convincingly, maybe you sneak in at 25.
Okay.
I think if you beat St. Mary's, you're then at the point where one more win, two more wins, and you're very easily in. But we've seen this is an Arizona State team, and Arizona State is a school. They kind of have to do a little bit more than necessary to get that type of recognition. I think they can do it, but winning against St. Mary's would be a massive, massive step.
Well, you already kind of led us there, but let's go ahead. Let's take a look at the Bobby board, just what it looks like. You obviously got the addition of a new Bobby face last night, probably the best one thus far. You got St. Mary's today. You got San Diego, I believe, next week, and then you've got a matchup against Florida a little bit later on in December. So definitely no cakewalk. St. Mary's, like you said, has a strong start to the season. We know what San Diego did to Arizona State last year. And then, of course, Florida was a team that was ranked in the top 25 to start the season. I don't know where they're at right now, but 3 games for Arizona State that they need to go handle business. And again, these games may not sound like a lot right now, but you need these wins to really add to your win total before you get to conference play.
Florida currently 7-0, 18th in the country.
There you go.
You have out of your next 3 games, 2 against undefeated teams, currently one of those ranked. If you beat both those teams, or if you beat one of those teams and fight close with another one, you could end up being ranked.
100%.
You're right. There's a lot on the line with this. There was a lot on the line in the beginning of the season. That's why you said you have to take care of business. I mean, New Mexico's a good team. That's a good win. And you're seeing good teams lose right now. Boy says Dan Hurley struggling early. The Arizona Wildcats struggling early. This is the moment in time where you're going to give yourself some breathing room when you go against, the best conference for college hoops. You have the number 1 team in the nation, Kansas, the number 5 team in the nation, and Iowa State, the number 6 team. 6th team in Houston, the 16th team in Cincinnati, 17th in Baylor. Currently the 24th Arizona Wildcats. I do not think that will be holding up. But there's 0 people in this conference with a losing record so far through 6 games. In fact, whoever is in last place just happens to be, let me check this. Oh, it's the 3-3 Arizona Wildcats, who actually they're currently playing right now.
That's wild, dude.
They're playing West Virginia in a non-Big 12 game, and they're winning 32-28. So not a big lead for them. 4:20 left. Nice in the first quarter. I mean, this is your opportunity. Yeah. This is your separate yourself, enter the Big 12, conference play ranked, and fight for a really good tournament spot. And you're in a great position to do that.
You are. Look, obviously, Arizona State, we're going to put on the back burner for the rest of this show.
Basketball.
But again, basketball.
We are not putting Arizona State on the back burner.
You're right. I misspoke. I meant to say Bobby Hurley's Arizona State Sun Devils. But again, I want to just give them a little love, 6-1. Definitely a strong start to the season. We are going to get into the Territorial Cup, talk Kenny Dillingham and your Arizona State football team, the biggest Territorial Cup game in the last 20 years, maybe the biggest Territorial Cup game in program history. But we are going to talk about it on the other side of this break. Look, I want to tell you guys about our friends over at Gila River Resorts and Casinos, the place to party, the place to have fun. And you know what, E-Pain? It's the place to make money. Go all in with over 4,500 slots and live table games, or you can catch all the action at any of their sports books. And when we say any of their sports books, it's because Gila River Resorts and Casinos has multiple locations. Wild Horse Pass, Vicuiva, Santan Mountain, the list goes on. Travel to any of those locations to experience the best that the Valley has to offer. They've got an unprecedented level of entertainment and excitement that you're not going to find anywhere else in the Valley. They haven't just set the bar, okay? They've kicked it down. They're in a different stratosphere at this point. If you don't believe me, just go check out one of their locations. Remember, you do you at Gila River Resorts and Casinos. Visit playathila.com for more details.
Usually I bury the lead. I'm not going to. Would you like $200?
Yes.
What if I walked up to you, whoever's listening or watching PHNX Sun Devils right now, not you, anybody else, say, do you want $200? Your answer would be, you could speak for them, Totri.
Yes.
Yes, it would be. And that's why Desert Financial Credit Union is unlike any other place for you to keep your money, because right now, if you open up a free checking account online, they will give you $200 in bonuses. Woo! Right in there. But what about, what about everything else? Are they trustworthy? Absolutely. Been in my family for multiple generations. The only place I've kept my money since I got my first job in high school. And then life gets more complicated. Mortgages, loans, credit cards, investment options, and more. And Desert Financial Credit Union is the perfect place to hold your hand along the way as you go through life. And they have so many different value locations. They have great hours, great customer service, and they have different ASU branded Visa debit cards that you can also rock maroon and gold with. So sow your ASU team spirit, open a free checking account online, get $200 plus your choice of 3 ASU Visa debit cards. Go to desertfinancial.com/ASU to get started.
We hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, drop a 5-star review wherever you get your podcasts. If you haven't already, also make sure you go check out the locker, get the Activate the Valley t-shirt. Again, everything on sale. What, the whole store, 75%?
Whole dang thing. I think you could buy Anthony Totri. Anthony Totri is on sale, 75% off. What is that? What are you running then? 75% off. What do you cost?
About $2,500.
Okay, $2,500.
This is not a keep purchase though. This is like
a rent for a day.
I'm going to need to talk to some people before we get into all that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anthony Totri, 75% off.
Talk with my lawyers. Yeah. From asking price, or am I already on sale?
No, you're on sale.
That's tough. Yeah. So, Arizona State football.
Yes.
Yeah, you want to talk about the Sun Devils?
I really would.
Obviously, a ginormous game in Tucson tomorrow, taking on the 4-7 Arizona Wildcats, a team that, quite frankly, just hasn't been able to put it together in the Arizona Wildcats really all season long. So, do you have any just like and this is where I want to take this conversation before we get into Factor Cap, is everybody talks about throwing away everything you think you know about these teams.
Sure.
Right? Because it's a rivalry game. I am not in that same kind of token. So I guess what I'm saying is Fact or Cap, which, again, brought to you by Branded Bills. Elevate your brand with Branded Bills, the perfect headwear and apparel. Use code PHNX for 20% off your first order. E-Pain, Fact or Cap, when you're looking at this rivalry game, do you throw out everything that you've seen from these two teams already this season?
Everything?
It's a rivalry.
No.
That's what people say.
You don't throw out everything. You throw out most of it. But
really,
the reality is, in a lot of these games, the better team has won. It's just that you remember when they don't, right? Usually the team, especially when they are this far apart in margins, the better team wins. But that by no means means that you are walking in tomorrow and saying there is a 0% chance that the Wildcats could win. Because you cannot throw everything out. You just can't. Both of these teams are who they are, but you have to accept the fact that things get weird in games like today or tomorrow. Games like this week. Things get weird, right? And Arizona has the talent. They have always had the talent. Sure, they've dealt with injuries, but they've had the talent to be in every game that they play. You have one of the best players in the country in T-Mac, right? You have what many thought, not us, but many thought was one of the top 10 quarterbacks in college football in Noah Fafita. Right? You have Jonas Avenea, on your offensive line, who should be a first-round pick or at worst a second-round pick as well. Takeover Davis on defense. Like, you have these impact players that at any given moment can flip a game like that. T-Mac can run off a 70-yard touchdown. Takeover Davis can pick off something and completely switch the momentum, right? All of these things can happen. But at the end of the day, most of the time you let your rival catch you slipping, it's because it's on you. It's because you don't take them seriously, because you don't go in this thing prepared. And if you don't think for a second that your Arizona State Sun Devils, after last season, after everything going on this season and everything on the line tomorrow, is going to go in ready to not slip, then you haven't been watching this football team. And that's why I'm not worried.
Yeah, no, I when it comes to throwing out everything you think you know about these teams based off of the first 11 games of the season, for me, I'm going to say that's cap, right? And I understand that ideology, that philosophy when it comes to rivalries to a point. But this Arizona State team from top to bottom is constructed and has played so much better than the Arizona Wildcats this season. The Arizona Wildcats, I think they're coached poorly.
Yes.
I think they've given up on that coaching staff to this point in the season. And Wildcat fans maybe can attest to it. Maybe they disagree with me. And I think if you were looking at this game with somebody else at the helm, right? If you were looking at this with a Herm Edwards at the helm, if you were looking at this with pretty much any coach over the last 10 years at Arizona State, and there hasn't been many, I think you would go in with the idea of like, okay, you don't want to sleep on this team. And like I said earlier in the week, I'm sleeping on this team. The team itself, Arizona State, is not, right? They're prepped to go into Tucson and take care of business tomorrow. This team is better. They will be coached better. They have been coached better all season long.
Yeah.
So Kenny said it Monday. They remember what happened last time. They remember how Arizona came into their house and did what they did to the Arizona State Sun Devils. He called it embarrassing. They got embarrassed last year.
Yeah.
And if you don't think that Kenny Dillingham, every single chance he has gotten this week, and maybe not even Kenny, maybe the players, maybe the leaders on this team, guys like a Cam Skattebo, guys like an Xavier Alford, guys like a Jordan Tyson, who were a part of Arizona State last year, the 3-9 season, that were a part of the embarrassment at Mountain America Stadium. If you don't think that they have thought about this game since they found out that both these schools were going to the new conference and this rivalry would continue, then you are excruciatingly wrong. This is a team that every single game has found a way to get up for. This is a game against your rival that you don't need any extra juice. This is a game with everything and more on the line. This is a game where if you take care of business, not only are you going to 99.9% punch your ticket to the Big 12 title game, but you are going to lay this Arizona Wildcats team to rest for good.
You know what's going to be poetic, or what could be poetic?
Me after tomorrow's game?
I mean, yes. And if you don't know, we're doing a takeover. We're going to be doing pregame, partying it up at Bourbon Bent tomorrow, and then we're going to be going to the game. And then I will be in the stands, by the way, with the fans. I will be screaming.
You're just going to be, you're a gamer tomorrow.
Oh, I am gaming
You're that
tomorrow.
guy.
I am going to be that guy, but we're that guy together. We're those dudes.
We're those dudes.
We're those dudes. Here's the thing. First game of the season. Arizona State anticipated, prepared. You didn't really know what to expect. You didn't really have a lot to base it off of. But you would, venture to guess that Arizona State is a better team than Wyoming. They should take care of business. What did that team do? Week 1, what did they do? They blew the doors off of them. They smelled blood, and they just killed them. They went right for the throat.
It was a slaughter.
You need to do the same thing in the last week of the regular season. You need to walk in tomorrow, and you need to say, we know we're the better team. We're going to strike first, we're going to strike early, and we're going to strike hard. Mm-hmm. And if you do that, and you take all the air out of the stadium, and you give them absolutely no breathing room, and you say, it doesn't matter that this is a rivalry game. It doesn't matter that everything is thrown out the window. It doesn't matter you have talent, and it doesn't matter that you want to win too. We are better. We are better prepared, we have better talent, and we are better executing with that talent. all 3 phases.
Better coach, too.
You do that. You are dominating this team. You are dog walking the kiddies. You are taking them out to the shed and you're saying bye-bye because that is all that needs to be done. When we say that their Big 12 title hopes are in Arizona State's hands, the only person who can beat Arizona State tomorrow is the Arizona State Sun Devils. That's it. That's the only people who can make sure that ASU gets upset in Tucson. If they do what they need to do and control what they need to control, there is zero chance that the Arizona Wildcats win that game.
That's fact. That's fact. That wasn't even the fact to gap, but that's fact. That's 100%. B's in the chat. The cup belongs in Tempe. Somebody earlier, if we could scroll up just a tad, Silvermine in the chat saying, winning is not enough. Humiliation must occur. No silly momentum shifts. Foot on the pedal for 60. I agree. This is a game in which Arizona State, after seeing where you were ranked in the college football playoff, and again, this is our estimation. I guarantee you Kenny has not said anything about the college football playoff to these guys. You were ranked 16 by the playoff. In large part, people think that you should be higher, especially people in Tempe after everything that you've seen. Boise State is going to beat Oregon State today. I believe the game is already over, I believe at this point, which means you are not likely going to jump Boise State in the college football playoff rankings.
Yeah, they won.
But you need to jump those 3-loss SEC teams, right? The Bamas, I believe A&M might be above them too, or South Carolina. Like, you need to absolutely destroy the Arizona Wildcats. You need to go into Tucson and you need to take their will to live away.
Yes.
And it sounds dramatic. It sounds harsh. You need to put them to sleep. Those seniors, right? Those seniors in Arizona, you had a great career. Last year was really awesome for you guys. This is Kenny's time. This is Scott's time. This is Leavitt's time. This is Tyson's time. This is the time that you need to go into Tucson and you need to rewrite the way that people in Tucson think about Arizona State.
You know what you need to do? You need to do what good teams do. And to be quite frank, you need to do what Colorado did today. You play an inferior opponent. Your win is your lifeblood as far as postseason.
It is.
And you won 52-0. You took care of business. You destroyed them. It wasn't even close.
Against a team that, yes, they weren't playing for a whole lot, but they were playing for getting at least one conference win this season.
Some sort of pride.
Yeah.
Right? And it's the same thing with Arizona. Obviously, it's not a rivalry game between Oklahoma State and Colorado. And there's so much more on the line between Arizona and Arizona State. But you need to do that. I want to scroll up a little bit. Hunter Zona says, became a diehard the other day just in time to see the Wildcats cry tomorrow.
Sir.
Love it. T-Goose 17 in the chat. Okay. I need to talk to T-Goose.
You're not reading that, though.
No, I need to talk to T-Goose.
Okay, talk to T-Goose.
Is in every single Suns post game that I do.
Yeah.
And just says, Erik is so high.
Yeah.
He just comments, he's like, Erik is the highest person I've ever seen. I'm not.
No, I've seen Erik high.
I do have some breaking news here on PHNX Sun Devils. We are starting a die-hard only show tonight at 8 o'clock. Wow. Tonight, me and Kevin, who is one of our producers here, are doing PHNX Puffs, which is a show where we indulge in some cult cannabis. It is not live to the public. It will be live in a stream with a secret link given to diehards. Uncensored. PHNX Puffs takes on sports, music, videos, everything. So T-Goose, if you would like to see me doing that, check that out. Become a diehard today. But no, I am not high on Suns post games or right now. T-Goose, thank you very much.
Thank you for getting that out there.
I am high off of something. The Wildcats' demise. West Virginia leads U of A 39-37 at halftime of the Bad Boy Mowers Battle for Atlantis third place game.
Bad to worse for the Kitties.
If they are 3-4,
you can't lose to West Virginia.
West Virginia is the team right above them in the conference standings right now.
You can't afford to lose. You can't afford to lose to them at all. To be honest with you, look, we've got heat index, we've got predictions. Like I said, we got special guests coming on. Arizona State fans are definitely going to want to stick around for that. We've got hot or not at the tail end of the show. Before we take our next break, Erik, I want to talk about something that has just been absolutely awesome to see. This came out the other day.
I'm so excited to talk about what we're about to talk about.
And it just furthers the belief that I think that I think a lot of Arizona State fans have in Kenny Dillingham. So Kenny, by reaching the 9-win total, was given a bonus, right? Contractually, I believe it's about a $200,000 bonus. And per Sun Devil source, right, Chris Cartman and company, Kenny has decided to donate that bonus, or at least a portion of that bonus, to some staffers on Arizona State, off the field staffers, telling them that they're going to be getting bonuses between 5, 10K, all that stuff, and didn't tell him, at least to my knowledge, that was coming out of his bonus.
Yeah, this guy can't be real. This guy cannot be real.
He can, and he is.
He is, and he's ours.
He's ours.
I mean,
Sweet Prince Kenny.
It only gets better. I mean, not only is the guy a fantastic football coach, a fantastic recruiter, somebody who can, just vibe with the youth, get on their level, and make sure that they are, feeling comfortable, like they want to be here, right? Not only does he support every ASU venture, whether it's from the school to the sports, if it's volleyball, if it's softball, if it's baseball, if it's podcasts, if it's football, whatever it is, he's all in. He's a Sun Devil through and through. He took care of his coordinators, said he wasn't even worried about himself. And the moment that he gets extremely successful, the moment that he is turning this program around before everybody's eyes as fast as humanly possible, he's still looking towards other people.
Saturday, and this Chris Cartman tweeted this Saturday saying, Dillingham earned his $200,000 bonus for 9 wins. On Monday, Dillingham tells 20 off-the-field ASU staffers they'll get a $5,000 to $10,000 bonus.
I only have one problem with this. Where's our money?
That's a Max question.
That is true.
That's a Max question.
I'm just kidding. No, I'm kidding. There's nothing bad that you can say about this.
No, this guy is every single college football program and every single college football fan should want a guy like Kenny Dillingham running their program, because he's continuing to do things like this, where it's just like, you've already had such a successful season, right? You've had such success that contractually they're giving you $200,000. And you're saying, you know what? The people that make this program go around, a Brian Ward, Marcus Arroyo, let's take care of them. The players constantly looking out for NIL deals. Let's make sure we take care of them.
He got Jordan Crook a car.
And for his own money that he got, right? Again, this is a 34-year-old man. $200,000, I don't care where you're at. College football is streaky, right? You could be great, you could be bad, your job could be gone in a second. And instead of investing that $200,000 in himself, he turned it around and said, you know what? These staffers that aren't even on the field, I believe, right? They're off-the-field staffers. They're so vital to this program that we want to take care of them too.
Yeah. This just confirms what we had said before. When everybody was talking about, what if Dilly does so well that he jumps to another program? What if he does so well that somebody comes and offers him a bag? This guy.
They gave him a bag.
This guy does not care about the money. He doesn't care.
They literally gave him a bag there, and he was like, nah, here you go.
And he didn't even do it in a way where he sits down in his press conference. It was like, hey, by the way, I gave it to these staffers. No, it got broken not by him. He didn't tell Chris Cartman. No. He would have been perfectly fine just letting this by the wayside. But this is exactly why you just have to love Kenny Dillingham. Do you know how incredible of a person and coach you have to be to where I have had literally countless Wildcats fans come up to me and be like, I hate that I love him.
Yeah.
I hate that he's so good. I hate that he's such a nice person.
Big Tonka in the chat. We are an everything school this year, boys. And B's saying
volleyball championship. Shout out Big 12. Yeah. Big 12 champions.
Dilly just gets it. Dilly just gets it. That's the only way that you could really describe it, Rudy. I think ASU will throw him a bag anyway. Yeah,
absolutely.
I mean, he's going to get a bag. Him and Graham Rossini have done a phenomenal job so early on into their tenure where they're at Arizona State that, again, the sky is really the limit for Arizona State with these guys at the helm. Obviously, basketball, volleyball, like there are so many amazing things, and we are so blessed to be able to talk to you guys just about every single day, 5 days a week at a minimum, talking about Arizona State and all the awesome things that they're doing at this point in time. Look, we are going to get back on track talking about the Territorial Cup. We've got predictions here in a second. We've got 3 Arizona State Sun Devils that need to go out there and have a big game for Arizona State to punch their ticket to the Big 12 title. We'll get to those guys, but we are going to take a quick break.
From football to basketball to volleyball to hockey, Tempe is keeping it tasty by eating a lot of dubs. And they are also keeping it tasty by NUTRL Vodka Seltzer because it has arrived, it is here, and it is beautiful. Not just the different flavors. The cran apple is your favorite. I like the strawberry lemonade.
Fire,
Cranberry apple is my second favorite, though. And they have your basics, your oranges, watermelons, black cherries, everything like that. But it's how they get to that taste. It's real ingredients. It's just good. Vodka, seltzer, real juice. Nothing artificial. Nothing that you take a sip, you're like, ooh, that tastes really sweet. And also like it was made in a factory.
Yeah.
No, it's just real. And guess what? It gets you real drunk too, as long as you're enjoying it responsibly. Nothing goes better with college football than NUTRL, and keep it tasty. Enjoy responsibly. A 2024 Anheuser-Busch product. NUTRL is a flavored vodka and carbonation out of St. Louis, Missouri.
Nice. Look, I know there's a lot of people in the chat looking forward to Saturday's game between Arizona State and Arizona. If you are in the Valley and you are making the trip to Tucson, you're going to need to fill up on some gas, maybe grab some Circle K snacks as well. Like I said, Circle K, they're going to take care of you when it comes to those deals. But you need to do them a solid real quick, and it's super easy. It takes less than 60 seconds. All you got to go do, download the Inner Circle app. Okay, it's their free membership program. Enter your email and phone number to be fully enrolled. And then after that, all you got to do is just have your phone number at hand to start getting those deals. Pull up to the pump, type in your number, and boom, you are going to get some deals like saving 25 cents per gallon on your first 5 fill-ups. And then if that's not enough, every single day after that, you guys can save 3 cents per gallon as well. Plus, there is plenty of other member-exclusive deals and discounts. You guys can enjoy your member-exclusive beverage deal. Inner Circle members, like, you can get any size Polar Pop or Frosty for just 79 cents. Join Inner Circle for free by downloading the Circle K app today. Terms and conditions apply at participating locations. Visit CircleK.com for details.
I'm driving us up to...
You
I
are.
keep on saying up, down.
Yeah, get it together.
Down to Tucson. I have to stop at Circle K because...
No. You get to.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I have no gas in my car.
Me either,
also,
honestly.
I need to take my car to the car wash, and I need to clean it out so that you boys have a place
car
to sit.
Wash.
So, working at the car wash, yeah.
The first time you heard that song was...
Shark Tale?
Yeah. That's such a fire movie, dude.
I was thinking, and maybe we'll do this on PHNX Buffs, I want to go back and just watch...
Can I be a guest on that show at some point?
Dude, you can be on the guest tonight.
Well, I can't tonight. I got stuff to do today.
Loser. Sorry.
You see the way this man treats me?
I don't know. I'm just a little sick. Yeah, we will have many a guests on that. It's going to be a very fun show. We're going to do it about twice a month. So we're going to do it today. We'll do it in 2 weeks. And it's going to be super chill. Like, we're just going to be sitting in...
Just vibing?
Just sitting in our apartment. We're not going to be in studio or anything like that. Like, it's going to be very chill just for diehards only.
At the car wash. Yeah. That's so stuck in my head. Look, let's go ahead. Let's get to Heat Index, where we give you guys 3 Arizona State Sun Devils that we believe need to go out there and have a big game. We've got some fire emojis that are going to tell you just how much of a big game we need these guys to have for the Sun Devils to punch their ticket. Starting with the man who was in studio on Wednesday. Nice interview, by the way.
Thanks.
Cam Skattebo. He's getting 3 stars here because he is your guy. He is your star. He is the heartbeat of this team. He is the motor. I said it on Behind Enemy Lines. He is a Swiss Army knife with brass knuckles. This guy is the reason, or I guess part of the reason, that Arizona State has had the success that they've had this season. And I don't even think he needs to have a big game. I'm giving him 3 emojis here because I think he's going to have a big game. Yeah. This is a bad Arizona State, or a bad Arizona defense, in a really good Arizona State running back who I think is going to punish. They get 9 lives.
Yeah.
He's going to take all 9 of them tomorrow.
I would highly encourage, we cut up the Cam interview. If you want to watch all of Wednesday's show, it's about 40 minutes. And I do bring up U of A, and he says when we win. He does not say if, he does not whatever. He is ready to run through them. Point blank, period. And I think he will.
I don't think it's going to be close. Arizona with the third worst run defense in the conference, giving up about $167 on the ground.
Yeah.
Now, this is an Arizona Wildcat team that when it comes to the pass, about middle of the pack, and that leads us to the second member of the Heat Index, Sam Leavitt. I don't think he needs to have a crazy game here. That's why I've got the 2 stars there for him. I think if you can supplement what Cam Skattebo does so well on the ground, then I think it's going to do what Arizona State has done all year long. It's going to open up the play action. Leavitt to Tyson, Leavitt to Guillory, Leavitt to Shaman, who is returning, by the way, next season to your Arizona State Sun Devils.
And Jayden.
That's why I've got Sam Leavitt as the second member of this week's Heat Index.
The only thing that Sam Leavitt needs to do besides have at least an average game is you can't turn the ball over. You can't make mistakes.
Take care of that foosball.
The only way that the Arizona Wildcats win tomorrow is if the Arizona State Sun Devils trip over their own feet. And there has only been one game where that has happened this season, and that was the loss to Texas Tech. The other loss, Sam Leavitt wasn't there. I would not consider them getting in their own way for that.
Okay, that's fair.
Do not turn the ball over, manage the clock well, and complete passes when you need to counter whatever you're doing with Scat. That is the perfect recipe for Sam Leavitt, but the quarterback's always important. It's hard to leave him off Heat Index any week.
Yeah, the final member of our Heat Index is the guy that I anticipate having to try and stop Tetairoa McMillan. I was talking with Mike Luke this morning about it. You can't really stop a guy like Tetairoa McMillan. You just have to pray to God that you could slow him down. That's why Keith Abney is the third member of the Heat Index. I think he needs to have a big game. I imagine that they are going to give whichever corner is following him, if they opt to follow, a little bit of safety help over the top. I'm a big fan of trying to press T-Mac as often as you can, not because that is necessarily going to stop him, but that exerts energy off the release for a guy like T-Mac. Arizona's offensive line has him in the greatest thing this season. Hopefully, your pass rush can get there before T-Mac really gets off the line, especially with some safety help over the top. But I think Keith Abney, Sam Leavitt, and Cam Skattebo are all due for big games. And if they all have a big game, then I think Arizona State is going to advance to 10-2 on the season.
Guess what?
Tell me what.
24 hours from right now. 24 hours when we started this show. Game will be going on.
That's fair. And look,
I need it.
You had a Big 12 game go on today. For those of you that don't know, Colorado took care of business against Oklahoma State. Colorado's win over Colorado's win over Oklahoma State officially eliminates TCU, Texas Tech, and West Virginia from contention for the Big 12 title game. But of course, all eyes in the Valley on Arizona State and Arizona. And that leads us to a guy that was a part of our season preview that we had at the start of the season, the one, the only, Saul Bookman himself. Saul, what do you think of them Arizona State Sun Devils, man? It's been a while since we've chatted about Dilly's Devils.
I don't know, man. Go back and check the tape.
We have it. We have some tape. Do we have some tape that we can get to? Okay. Let's take a look. Let's take a look at some of the tape that we have from our season preview. I know Saul has been pretty adamant that he maybe not predicted what Arizona State would do, but the season's gone the way that Saul said the season might go.
He has done just about everything the right way. But you have to have talent and able to really supersede expectations. And I think I don't know what the measurements or the statistics are on this particular thing, but I always feel like when you go through predictions and projections and a team is just constantly not talked about, it's usually that team that ends up surprising a lot of people, because at the end of the season, like, man, nobody talked about those guys. You know what I'm saying? And that's kind of how I feel about ASU. I feel like nobody's really talking about them, positively or negatively. Really, it's just a non-factor right now because nobody really knows what to expect from them in the Big 12. So I actually think that they're going to do a little bit better than last year. But can they get to a bowl game? I think that would be a significant victory in year 2 under Kenny Dillingham. I think most projections have them at 3 or 4 wins. So we'll see.
Yeah, it's said nobody's talking about them, good or bad. They had the potential.
You know, it was funny because when I was at Media Day, that was like the number one thing I took away was like nobody's talking about ASU. And I just had this feeling that you guys played very hard in every single game last year. Like that was undeniable. That's the Kenny impact. And so if you could just get marginally better in some of those areas, and more importantly, if you just had any type of decent quarterback play, you guys are going to be better this year than you were last year. Now, did I think you guys were going to be 9-2 and battling for the conference championship? None of us thought that was the case. And you can go back and look at that preview because none of us had them even going to a bowl game. I think the best was 5-7. So it's been a remarkable year for you guys for sure.
It's again, I think you hit the nail on the head. This is a team that last year, because of the coaching staff, because of the type of players that they had on the roster, was a group that was in every game for the most part. And you didn't have that quarterback play. You didn't have a guy that could really command the offense. The defense didn't necessarily have the turnover luck that they've had so far this season. And they found a way to really try and gel both of those on top of being able to allow Cam Skattebo to just be a running back this season and not have to go out there and be an every down just beast. He's turned into that at the running back position. But it's certainly been something that, again, like I said, nobody, not even, I don't think the staff, knew that this team was going to be, at this point, 16th in the nation by the College Football Playoff Committee, and then 9-2 with a chance to go to the Big 12 title.
Yeah, and I think, Saul, we have more receipts that you've pulled up, because I guess, when your team is doing that poorly, you got to find the moral victories, right?
What? No. This is what it is. Okay. If you go into our Discord and Sun Devil Nation and they try to pull receipts on you and you're like, bro, stop. First of all, I have more confidence in you than you had in your own team. Okay. So don't even check me on that. Number two, like the amount of disrespect, as if I was one of these Arizona fans that was just completely blind to the fact that ASU could be good. Like, no, that's just ridiculous. So I wanted to pull receipts because I was like, no, I've been here since day one. Okay. Now, do I hope you guys lose tomorrow? Absolutely. Absolutely. Like, would it be, a little bit of a cherry on top that, you guys would have a chance to, you guys have so much on the line. If you guys lost this game, that's obviously an added benefit for Arizona fans. But obviously the momentum is completely on your side. So, and I predicted Arizona could fall apart. And I think I specifically pointed out one thing that I thought, if this happens, then this is the way it's going to go. And sure enough, that's exactly how it's going.
Arizona has a disappointing season, Saul,
injuries are always the cop-out right here when you're talking about that. But honestly, I would say if they just don't show that they have the chemistry that maybe they had a season ago under Brent Brennan, if things are just a little discombobulated, feels like guys are not really in the positions that they should be, I think that could be the major factor in terms of why they wouldn't be as a successful team as they were a year ago.
Yeah. Everything that could go wrong has gone wrong for Brent Brennan and crew. And I don't know what to think about that. Obviously, I'm despondent as an Arizona fan. I'm sure everybody appreciates that and loves that, but there's a lot of work to be done. And listen, earlier Erik and I were talking, and as excited as I am for you guys, I think the biggest difference between where you guys are at this year versus where we are at last year is that Jed Fish was not an Arizona guy. And we always thought that, we really thought he would be here this year. And then when the Florida job became available, that's his alma mater, we figured he's gone. But we didn't expect him to go to UW, like of all places, UW. And I honestly, you guys are better set up for success right now than even we were a year ago. And that's a testament to Kenny and the amount of work that he's putting in.
All right, so before we hit a break here, and if you want more talk between Saul and I about U of A, Southwest Bias is live on PHNX Sports. Is Brent Brennan coaching for his job tomorrow? That is the topic, but let's do some score predictions. Captain Redbeard, if we could throw that up on the screen. Me, myself, and I'm going 41-21. Your Sun Devils make a statement in Tucson. Totri, you think they make an even bigger statement?
Yeah, 48-14. We already talked earlier today, and Kenny had brought it up in his Monday presser that this is a team that remembers the embarrassment that they felt last season. Kenny takes things personally when it comes to stuff on the field. This is a guy that's amped, that's passionate, that's juiced, and this is, some of these Arizona State Sun Devil seniors, their last time to take it to their rival, and I think that's what they're going to do. I think they're going to take it to their rival. Saul, you think it goes down at least with a similar end result, maybe not the same score?
Yeah, I think it's gonna be a closer game than 48 to freaking 14. Like, listen, if it's 48-14, it is what it is. You can't do anything about it. But I don't know, man. I feel like the way we've been drugged this season because of the hype, preseason hype, people kind of getting overinflated egos. I tend to be a little cautious when I see, fantastic score predictions like those. And it's still a rivalry game. And I know 70-7 happened, but listen, man, this as bad as Arizona is, there are no way, shape, or form in the same world as that just epic disaster under Sumlin in his final season. That team was so talentless, and this is not the case. So I do think that it's going to be a closer game, mainly because they're at home. If it was on the road, I could easily see a 48-14 score. I could easily see how the brakes would come off or the wheels would come off. But I just don't feel like that's the case. Do I think you guys will win? I would say the edge goes to you. That's why I picked the score to be like that. Do I think it's going to be 24-21? I don't know. I don't know.
You did bring up something that I've got a question that I've been waiting to ask you really all week when it comes to this Territorial Cup, but we are going to take our final break before we get to that question. Guys, if you've watched any of these PHNX Sun Devil post-game shows, we obviously spend a lot of time talking about Cam Skattebo.
Yes.
And that is because he is the truck for Arizona State's offense. And if you guys need a reliable truck just like Cam Skattebo, well, Sanderson Ford, they've got it for you, guys. PHNX is proud to have Sanderson Ford as our official vehicle partner. If you haven't been to Sanderson Ford yet, it is not just a facility. It is like a compound, okay? 65 acres makes them the largest Ford dealership in the nation. And already, I know today is Black Friday, but they've really been soaking it up all month long with a Black Friday thank you sale, literally the entire month of November with great offers. Get a new 2024 F-150 truck with 3.9 APR financing for 66 months, plus up to $4,000 cash back, similar savings on over 900 new and pre-owned vehicles on the lot, plus get an additional $1,000 Amazon gift card on Bronco, Mach-E, Lightning, F-150, and Expedition on Black Friday, Saturday, and Monday. So don't miss the Sanderson Ford Black Friday thank you sale. All offers expire December 2nd.
Usually I don't start these things with bad news, but this bad news is kind of good news. We have sold out our PHNX Territorial Cup Takeover. That is tomorrow. It is presented by NUTRL branded bills. I know Saul will be there. We will be there. And so many of you wonderful people will be there as well. And hopefully we'll have some more events going forward if the Sun Devils continued their season. But we have also a bunch of other stuff. If you go to gophnx.com/events, you can check out maybe the PHNX Winter Pickleball Tournament on December 14th at Chicken and Pickle in Glendale. We've doubled the field since the last tournament. There are 48 teams this year, all skill levels welcome. There's PHNX prizes, food and drink specials, and all proceeds are going to Operation Santa Claus. Also at gophnx.com/events. Let's say maybe for some reason December 7th isn't as busy of a day for Sun Devil fans. We have a Suns takeover at Wild Horse Pass at Gila River Resorts and Casinos as the Suns take on the Heat. And we have so many more of those at Wild Horse Pass going forward. Go phnx.com/events to keep up with all the fun stuff that we are doing.
Yeah, we're definitely going to have a ton of fun at Bourbon Bent tomorrow, 11:30, I believe. We're getting there. We're also going to be having a post-game show as well in Tucson. So definitely stick around for all that fun stuff tomorrow. We are going to get to Hot or Not. But first, Saul, you had brought up that you think that maybe this is a closer game because Arizona is home against Kenny Dillingham Sun Devils. I'm curious what you think this fan turnout is going to be like from Wildcat fans versus Arizona State fans making the trip, because we've already seen as the season has started to slip away a few weeks ago for the Arizona Wildcats and Brent Brennan, maybe people turning on the coach. It just hasn't looked like the fan base has showed up a ton to those Arizona games. And we've already talked about there's a lot on the line for Arizona State, Kenny Dillingham's team. How do you feel the turnout is going to be between these two squads going down tomorrow?
I think it's going to be about the same as when it was for you guys last year when you guys weren't balling out and half the fan base was showing up. Like, you look around that stadium last year and you probably had about 30% Arizona fans as opposed to It's probably a 30-70 split, maybe even a little bit more. I think you're probably going to see something similar. It might be 50-50. It might be 40-60 in favor of us just because we're at home. And listen, it's still a rivalry game, right? And I think the biggest thing that I think the messaging around here is, listen, man, it's T-Mac's last game. And it's some of these seniors' last game. And especially when you're looking at T-Mac, you're talking about one of the greatest players in U of A history, the best receiver in U of A history, bar none. He's going to be a top 10, 15 draft pick in the NFL draft. Like, he's legitimately going to be one of the best draft picks we've ever had in this school's history. And I think if you want to see greatness at the collegiate level from a wide receiver position, this is your last chance to do it, especially with a player that's repping your colors. We just don't get that very often here. You guys have Cam Skattebo. If the shoe was on the other foot and this was his last home game, at ASU, and you guys weren't good, I mean, you got to pay that man your respect. Like, that dude balled out for you. He put everything on the line for you guys. And that's kind of how I feel about this game. So I think we're going to have an okay showing. I don't think it's going to be great. I think there's going to be a lot of maroon and gold in that stadium for sure.
Might be the last opportunity to see Noah Fafita in an Arizona Wildcat jersey as well. Just gonna throw that out there. You never know. He might hit the portal, man.
No,
I don't know if Fafita's coming back.
That's not happening.
You don't think so? You think he's there?
Dude, if you weren't going to go to UW and follow Jed Fish and the facilities that they have and the money that they have, then you're not going to leave Arizona for whatever is next. You didn't have that great of a year, man. That's the problem. It's like there's some fundamental flaws in what Noah Fafita showed on tape this year versus last year, and so they got to correct it. And I just don't see that happening. But hey, I could be wrong. The portal. Hey, listen, when money flashes around, you just never know what to predict with these kids.
Yeah, I heard the Sun Devils are looking for a good backup quarterback behind Sam Leavitt.
Well, behind Jeff Sims too.
And Jeff Sims. So maybe Fafita can slot in there if we get some NIL. Okay, I just had to end a little jab. I'm sorry. If you want to follow along with Saul, you do it.
No, no. Hold up. Time out. You're gonna try to say some crazy shit like that and get off. I don't care. Listen, I know we have rules about cursing and stuff like that, but F that, okay? You're not gonna sit there and act like Noah Fafita is some scrub-ass quarterback compared to what you have in Sam Leavitt. Sam Leavitt is good. He's perfectly constructed to do what you want. But if you would have told me before the season that Noah Fafita is picking between ASU and U of A, and you were going to choose Sam Leavitt, you were high and out of your mind, and you know it. And to mention Jeff Sims, if you don't want me to drive all the way back to Phoenix and beat your ass right now, you better not ever bring up his name and Noah Fafita in the same sentence again. Can we at least agree on that?
I'll give you that. Well, yeah.
Eric,
I'll take Fafita over.
That's disrespectful, Erik.
If only it was a week for disrespect. If only there was a time for that.
It's rivalry week. We'll put it at that. Look, we have talked a lot about ASU hoops. We've talked a lot about Arizona State football. And of course, while we have Saul here, we might as well do everybody's favorite segment. We might as well get to hot or not. Do you want to?
Well, I have
just an update for everybody.
Well, so Saul has a new show on PHNX Sports called McHale Madness, following Arizona basketball. Taking some time out of his day during the game to join us, which we appreciate. I don't know if you're watching the game or the score, Saul, but currently West Virginia is up 49-46 in the second half. Hot or not?
Not.
I'm just messing around.
That is valid. Guys, do a solid. Hit that like button. Hit the subscribe button. Drop a 5-star review wherever you get your podcasts. Also, want to say for everybody watching us on television, the party continues over at gophnx.com. Again, if you're watching us on television, you want to come hang out, gophnx.com. The fun continues. Captain Redbeard, let's get hot or not started. What do we got for topic numero uno?
All right, number one, early game kickoffs, hot or not?
Hot.
Wait. You said that way too fast. We need to know what
define early.
Yeah, what is early time kickoff?
Noon, 1 p.m.
Yeah, those are hot.
What time of the year? What time of the year are we talking?
That's a good follow-up.
Dude, if it's maybe mid-October later, yeah, absolutely hot. I don't care what time it is. A noon kickoff in Sun Devil Stadium in September? Not.
That's a fair point.
Torn because I hate the 7 p.m. kickoffs, but I think I feel like it's different. We have such a tarnished look when it comes to kickoff times because of media. Like if you're a fan, I feel like, and you live in the Valley, you go to a 7 p.m. kickoff, like you're home by 10:30, 10:45, game's over, whatever, you can go to bed. Like there is so much that goes into what a 7 p.m. kickoff looks like after the game even happens. So I hate 7 p.m. kickoffs. I will take a noon 1:30. I think we kicked off against Cincinnati at 9:30 at one point this season. I'll take any of those. I don't care what time of the year it is, as long as I don't got a 7 or 7:30 p.m. kickoff.
Yeah, I think it's different covering as somebody who's like covering the team and then as a fan. I think as a fan, I'd prefer the late games and my day, right? But when you got to do a show and everything afterwards and all of that, for me, it shifts the perspective a bit. I would like earlier kickoffs usually, even if it means a little bit hotter. That's just me, though.
What do we got for topic numero dos? I guess I'm speaking Spanish.
Number
I'm
two,
hot or not today.
Number two, we all saw. I mean, I'm assuming you watched football yesterday.
Yeah.
People eating turkey.
Sky's blue. Yeah.
People eating turkey on camera, hot or not?
So that act?
Yeah.
Not.
No, not hot?
Dude, that turkey has probably been out there for like an hour and a half. It's cold as hell. It's gross. Nobody wants to eat rubbery skin on a chicken or on a turkey. Like, that's just, no.
But let's step into their shoes. You're Jared Goff. You're part of the reason why Eberflus is gone Monday morning, or I guess Friday morning, right? You just balled out Thanksgiving Day. You've grown up your whole life. People post games on Thanksgiving. You got a turkey leg. You're saying that's not hot? No.
I think it's funny. I don't know if it's hot. It's like, oh, it's cool, but I'm not like a huge fan of it. I'm like, yeah.
Of like turkey or like
no,
eating it on
eating
TV?
it on camera. Those are two different things.
Turkey is absolutely mid as hell.
Turkey's mid. I don't know.
Yeah,
I had some really good turkey.
It depends. It's harder to get right than other meats, but if it's done well, it's really good. But unfortunately, most times it's not done in the best way.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say it's hot, just to be a party pooper. Yeah, just to be devil's advocate here. I don't hate it. It doesn't like, I don't get irritated about it. I don't watch it and I'm like, oh my God, that is the grossest thing that I've ever seen in my entire life. Nah, it's just a turkey leg. I really don't care. You could be David Montgomery. You could eat a carrot on TV. That works too. Doesn't really do anything for me. So bring us home, Captain Redbeard.
All right, we're going on a road trip tomorrow. Long road trips, hot or not?
Define long. Because tomorrow's not long.
Tomorrow's not long, but I'd go 5 hours plus.
5 hours plus.
So Vegas isn't a long road trip?
I would say Vegas is probably the shortest long road trip.
Yeah.
Vegas feels like a long drive.
I think it depends on who you're with.
Yes.
Like if I'm, like when we go to Vegas every, for Pac or Big 12 Media Day or whatever, like that was a fun trip. We get the bullshit and, but if you're like, you got screaming kids in the back and you got to do all this management, like, oh no, road trips are not hot. So I'm going to say by and large, road trips, not hot.
For me, it also depends on who's driving as well. You can have great company if I don't really want to drive, or if somebody's a really bad driver and you don't feel safe. But I like Saul's.
Eric?
No, I'm not calling you out. I'm just saying in general.
Hey, you were looking dead at me when you were talking about that, man.
That's true. I was looking dead at you. No, you're all good drivers. I just think in general, if you're going to be on a long road trip and somebody's behind the wheel that you don't trust, you are in for a very anxiety-filled 5 to however many hours. I don't want that.
Ask Totri about Michaela Perkins.
I take the fifth on that. I looked at Sean the Paz one time, and I'm not even joking you. He was in the back seat with me. Something occurred, and I looked at him like, this is where we die.
This is the
we die in the back seat of Michaela Perkins' car on the way home from Las Vegas. I agree to a degree, I guess. Like, it's not so much the company for me; it's who's on Aux. Like, if somebody is on Aux and they've got like a good playlist, they got their music down for the whole way, then that's fine. You could be the greatest person in the world with awful music taste, and I don't want to go on a road trip with you, like, and you don't want to be the guy that's like in the back of the car with the headphones on, like then you just look like there's just So I'm gonna say long. I guess back to the question at hand. Road trip. I'm gonna say hot. I'm going to say hot with the one caveat that somebody with good taste has to be on Ox. Is that fair?
Yeah, it's fair.
We all can agree on that. Get out on that high note. Two things we agree on. Somebody good has to be on Ox, and that Arizona State is going to beat the Arizona Wildcats on Saturday. Guys, shout out Saul Bookman for coming on today's show. He had the receipts.
Hey, real quick, I just, listen, in all sincerity, you guys are the one beat at PHNX, and I don't know how many people know this, who have just been grinding and grinding and grinding, and really the one beat that never really got to reap the reward of all the hard work, just because the teams that you guys were covering, by and large, were not as good as, as they are now. And to see like the amount of work you guys have put in, the cool stuff you guys have taken advantage of, content-wise, and been able to supply to everybody, it's just been phenomenal. I'm so pumped up for you guys more than anything else, and the amount of work and really the feedback and the reward that you guys are getting, and people are starting to take notice of the stuff that you guys are doing, and I couldn't be more proud of the work you guys are doing. So I just wanted to say that out loud before I have to, if you guys choke tomorrow and I talk absolutely mad, like you won't even understand the level of trash talk I will bring to the table if you guys somehow choke in the biggest choke of all choke jobs. No pressure, but that's what's coming your way if that happens. I don't expect it to happen, but if it does, let's go. I'm ready for this tomorrow, man.
I would expect nothing else, because if the roles were reversed, I would do the same thing. So bring it on. This is what it's all about.
You did do the same thing last year. You did the exact same thing last year.
Yeah, no, we did.
Yeah,
we did. We did.
Yeah, we didn't win, but
no.
We couldn't do the trash talking, but we wanted to.
Look, a lot of diehards in the chat. A lot of folks going to be at Bourbon Bent tomorrow for the pregame meetup. Come say what's up. I know there's going to be a ton of PHNX folks out there. It's going to be an absolute blast, and we're going to enjoy the game. And hopefully your Arizona State Sun Devils will punch their ticket to the Big 12 title.
See? That little seed of doubt is already starting to creep in. Totri, let's go, baby.
48-14. Book it, man.
You were totally confident, and now
48-14. I ain't even doing this. Give Saul a follow at Saul_Bookman. Maybe wait till after the Territorial Cup game goes down tomorrow. If you enjoyed the content, give the program a follow at PHNX_Sun Devils. You can follow me at Anthony_Totri. You can follow E-Pain at Erik Ruby. That is Erik with a K. You got something that's, do you want to tell him, or do you want to just tell him what time? What time?
Okay. Well, are we talking about tonight, or are we talking about tomorrow?
Is it tomorrow, or is it tonight?
Okay, so, tonight we have the first edition of PHNX Puffs, which is for diehards only. Me and Kevin are just going to have some Colt cannabis and rip. That's at 8 o'clock. Link is going to be sent in Discord. And a little bit later today, please come hang out with us. Uncensored, unfiltered, not on TV, just having a good time. I'm working on something. And a very select group of people know about this, that will be going out, fingers crossed, tomorrow morning. I'm stepping out on a limb. I'm doing something that has not been done before. And
not here at PHNX.
Let's just say it should be interesting. So you're going to want to check out my socials tomorrow morning, PHNX Sun Devils. I guarantee you could have 100 guesses, and you would not guess what I'm talking about. It's time to shock the world. I genuinely don't think people would guess. That is all the hints I'm going to give. Maybe tonight on PHNX Puffs, maybe I will release a little snippet of what I've got going on for tomorrow. But yeah, definitely stepping out on a limb on this one, so we'll see.
Well, you can follow the captain of this beautiful vessel, Captain Redbeard, at K Coop Sports. Guys, we will see you tomorrow for the pregame meetup and, of course, the postgame show as well. But as always, go Devils. Peace.
We all silly like the mayor.